I am super stoked to finally have, and I finally got to meet you IRL too. We've talked for a long time on the socials. My guy, fellow croc advocate, slash metal guitarist. Although I see an acoustic guitar back there, maybe you can play us out with Wonderwall. Um, Dev, Dev, why don't you give yourself introduce yourself to the folks? You're muted, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
Awesome. It's great being here after, again, a very long time. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
was very excited to finally get to meet you at Danny Thompson's conference because I skipped Render ATL and that conference and a couple other exciting stuff that was happening last year. But yeah, it's great to be here. It's always fun chatting with the community and yeah, just talking about tech, talking about careers. And yeah, this is something I really enjoy doing.
Very nice. We talked for a couple minutes before about your personal website, um, and I love it because you have coffee beans as the background. Are you that much of a coffee like person? Like, talk about that choice.
Sure. Yeah, I really got into coffee like 2 or 3 years ago. Um, it was right around the COVID time because I was spending a lot of time at
Mm,
home, and I was already very much into coffee. Like I like drinking coffee a lot, but it was always like, okay, I'll go out and get a bunch of coffee, or like push a button and get my cup. But I got super into like uh, learning about what makes a coffee good, like how to brew good coffee, what are the different like scientific things that go into
mm-hmm.
that. And then it also turned out that it's an expensive hobby because good coffee and good coffee grinders and brewers are fucking expensive. Um,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, it has stuck around since then. So now and now Primogens has a coffee company. So now I drink terminal coffee. I brew with my Aeropress. I have a grinder that I use every time. And yeah,
Nice.
I don't drink coffee every day anymore. It's
Okay.
uh, so it's kind of like a lot of the coffee bean background. It's a lot of like kind, I guess, uh, a remainder from when I used to do it pretty much every day. But
Yeah.
I still love coffee. I still try my best to get the best quality that I can brew, and I don't have to like worry about mass brewed coffee that I have to dump three
Yeah.
creamers and three sugars in.
Oh, which I mean, it's you have to for the
Yeah.
gas station stuff. I also get terminal coffee. Shout out to Prime and Dax and Tej and whoever the hell else they have on that team down there. Got to meet them at React. Pretty nice guys. Didn't get any free coffee though, which kind of is fucked up now that I think about it because Dax's dog bit Taylor's asshole off,
Oh
and
yeah, I met
we got
Taylor
no
this
free
weekend.
coffee.
Yeah, I met Taylor this weekend. He told me. I'm like, wait, what? How is that not all over Twitter right now?
You know, honestly, I'm actually pretty surprised that it wasn't. I don't remember they hushed him, but they
Yeah.
didn't give him hush coffee. They did not pay him off in hush coffee. I will tell you that much. Well, anyway, I'm also a huge coffee guy, so I love to use an Aeropress. I also have one of those, but we have this massive stainless steel French press. We've got the pour overs. We've got a big burr grinder, like all the fun stuff. And I still end up making Nespresso from time to time. But dude, they make these pods that you can refill. So I
Mhm.
use my own beans. I grind it all up and they're really fine, and you pack it in. It's very satisfying. So, but that's a hobby. That's something you
Mhm.
got into after you've been already software developing, and I'm sure that there's parallels as far as your interest, as far as like researching and developing and figuring out what works best for you. Where take us back to when little baby Dev first started learning how to code.
Yeah, I mean, you say little baby, but I was literally in, I think, second or third grade, so I was like maybe 7, 8 years old. My
Jesus
brother,
Christ, man.
it's just a like small story. So my brother, who is 7 years older than me, he was learning computer science in high school, and he had this like massive C++ book that everyone needs to learn. We had a desktop at home. He used to like whatever practice his C++, And I was just like super curious. I didn't have anything else to do as a 7-year old. I sat beside him, tried to like bothered him like, hey, what is this, what are you doing, this looks funny. And him, just as like an exercise, he taught me I should change my Twitter handle to Little Baby Dev. I am actually
Little
Mike.
baby dip.
Yeah, I mean, I go to, I was just at Star Trek, and I'm like, I'm a 26-year-old, and everyone around me is like, holy shit, you're young. So I probably might.
Wow. Holy
Um,
crap, dude! I had no idea you were that young. By the way, finish your story. Sorry.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, that was just so yeah, my brother, as like an exercise of himself trying to learn C++, he taught me a little bit in the beginning. So I learned the basics of like arithmetic, if statements, while loops, things like that. um, but after that, for a long time, there was nothing. That was just like a little bit when I was or like a little bit of a trailer or intro that I got when sorry, my cat is really trying annoying right now.
You're all right.
Yeah,
It's
but
your
after that,
intern.
I got into high school, and high school there were a bunch of
Hmm.
classmates that were like that learned web design, that were making super cool like animations on websites. They were going to web design contests, and that's where it all kind of came back to me. I'm like, okay, this I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to impress my computer science teacher and my classmates and build cool websites.
Awesome. So you had the taste really early on.
Mhm.
You went years without seeing it again, and then you got interested in it again. So what were your first steps there? Did you take a class, or did you kind
Mhm.
of wait till after school? And like, how did that all kind of go?
Yeah, it was almost entirely after school. I have studied
Mm-hmm.
like some like I took IT courses in high school. Then obviously I got to came to college for IT, but like 90-95% of what I learned has been stuff that I did after class. And
Mm,
even if there were things that I learned in class, uh, those were things that I had already learned earlier, kind of. Um,
nice.
Now there's still the other 5 to 10% that I did learn, but most of it was on my own. So yeah, my first was just my friends were using Adobe Dreamweaver, so they were
Oh
not also
wow,
like
yeah.
they didn't know a lot of stuff. They were just like going to Adobe Dreamweaver and saying, I want an accordion here, a collapsible panel here, I want a drop down here, and it did all of that. So that's kind of where I started as well. um, but then I started noticing like, okay, this is using jQuery, so let me look into jQuery, and that was kind of my hook into like learning more HTML, CSS, and JavaScript directly.
So it was all jQuery's fault.
Yeah, yeah,
That
definitely.
was it right there for you. Okay. So what was the first project that you
Mhm,
like really remember like for you was the moment where you're like, holy shit, this is
mhm.
what I want to do?
Yeah, it's really interesting. There's a couple uh, that have that at like different levels. The first one was a super early project where I just wanted to build like a website around astronomy, and because astronomy was a topic I was super into at that time, so I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to take everything that's in my brain and dump it on a website, kind of like early blogging style. I didn't super know what blogs were. I probably would have written a blog instead, but I wanted to make a whole
Yeah.
website out of it, right? um, I spent a decent bit of time doing that, and that gave me a lot of kind of like reward and like satisfaction at the end. So that was a big one. Uh, but the major one was a couple years afterwards when I did my first freelance project. Now by this time I was already going to come to uh, like here the US, get my undergrad degree and like study
Mm-hmm.
IT here. But throughout working on that freelance project where I was the only developer, I was building this like online platform for a healthcare startup where they can like get customers, they can advertise like people who can like provide care like nannies and stuff, and have them
Wow.
matched up on their platform. So that was like a fun like decently complicated project that I had to do as like 1 year into my web
That's
development.
ambitious. That's
Yeah,
super ambitious.
yeah, but the secret to for like me working on that project was this framework called Meteor, which I think that to this day we are still trying to chase the development experience that Meteor offered throughout all these other frameworks. It literally had
Ooh.
everything in 2015 that we want in 2025. So that's a story for another day probably. But
Yeah,
that framework,
I'm curious to hear about that. So,
sure, yeah. But yeah, that framework made it super easy for me to like build really complicated things really quickly.
yeah, that's super huge and such a big project. Like
Mhm.
what was what was going through your mind when you were doing that project, especially like so green?
Mhm.
Like what were your nerves like? How did you kind of push through? And as a freelancer, like you
Mhm.
don't have an employer kind of breathing down your neck with deadlines and stuff.
Mhm.
Like how did you time box that and kind of teach yourself how to do that?
I just sacrificed most of my sleep, spent all of my night writing code, drinking a shit ton of coffee, and then
Oh, there you go.
having super unhealthy sleep schedule and food. Because I was an 18-year-old, I could do all of that. So, um, but that like aside from that, I think the 1 or 2 years that I had spent like building things, and I had also like took Meteor for a spin on a couple other side projects before I jumped into that freelance project.
Mm,
um but some like obviously there was a lot of recurring dialogue that I am way too in over my head. This is too big for me. I am way too new for this. I won't be able to
mm,
do all of this. So some of that was always there, and to be honest, some of it stays to this day. Like sometimes I start projects that like today, or when I switch my new employer, or if I have like a new freelance project that might come in, that feeling always comes up of like am I sure I'm ready for this? This is like even after 8 years I still have that sometimes. It's obviously not to the same extent, um, but yeah, a lot of it was just having some level of trust in what I already know, what I have done throughout the last year, the last 7 years, and yeah, just being optimistic that things will kind of be figured out as they happen, and it's not this is
sure.
not that big of a task.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, and I've heard this from pretty much everybody, even in other industries, as far
Mhm.
as like the imposter syndrome and imposter thoughts, like what the fuck am I doing here? Like,
Yeah.
so what for you works to kind of talk you back from that?
Um, I think for me, the biggest thing that pulls me out of it is just how much I enjoy building. Um,
Mm,
like that's probably the main reason I'm still in this field, because just building things out of nothing but ideas is just super inspiring, rewarding, and it's it's like something was in my head and now it's out here, it's doing things. Like it's almost
mm,
a bigger version of the website or a blog. Like a blog, you have some ideas in your head and you write them down so that someone can read it and understand what's happening, right? A code is just doing the same thing, but it's writing it down in such a formal language that the code can not only that the computer can not only understand it and execute it. So that gives me like yeah, the rewarding feeling that comes out of expressing what I have in my head,
mm,
that usually triumphs whatever I might be feeling about the project, or like my own ability to do that. I know that for some people that might always not be the case, uh,
mm.
and there have been like a few times for me where that hasn't been the case for me, but more often than not, that's what gets me up in the morning.
Nice. I'm dealing with that today because I'm just breaking, and I'm bashing my head on this keyboard. I was like, you know what?
Mhm.
I gotta walk away.
Mhm.
Um, when you get into that rut and you're like, yeah, let me try this, and then oh no, now it's worse. Oh crap.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's hard. Wow. Just quick shout out to everybody. I see Ellie's here and Jeff and Roxy, Chris. It's great to see you guys. Make sure you drop a howdy in the comments here. We're hanging out with Dev, doing a little chatting. We've gotten through his first freelance role. Oh, Rosie's here too. Nice.
How's it
His
going?
first freelance role. Um, what was next? Like where did that sort of transition from doing your own freelance stuff to your first actual developer role?
Yeah. So I got here at University of Cincinnati in 2018
Mm-hmm.
for my undergrad. Um, and by the time I got here, obviously I had my freelance project, and I had a couple other like small things on my uh, kind of belt to show off. Uh, when I got here, though, the like one of the first opportunities that showed up was a research project. Uh, it
Mm-hmm.
was researching around like Internet of Things, IoT devices. They were pretty big back then, and like access control for IoT.
Yeah.
Uh, so I spent a year there. I tried to use like some of my software skills to like build up mockups, demos, so that we could do some user research. That was pretty much it. um, but then the university itself had a like a small department made of staff and students, and this department basically acted like a consulting agency, where they would get projects from government, retail companies around them. They would build them out, and they would have students work on those projects, so it would be much cheaper for the client, and it would be like an educational experience for us.
That's
So
awesome.
that's where I spent like the next 3 4 years while I was at college. And that was huge for a lot of my like just growth in terms of how to work with a team, how to build a more complicated project with like real clients and real money and things like that. um, yeah, fortunately, when I was trying for me to apply to this place, like initially when I was getting in, the person who or one of the leads was also a professor, or like he taught a class that I was in, and I was able to impress him enough in that class that once it got to the interview, he's like, "Yeah, I know you write good code. Let's go get in."
That's awesome. I mean, that's really kind of a testament to just networking and who you
Mhm,
know. Like if you hadn't built that kind of reputation and
mhm,
relationship with that instructor, like those interviews for that whole thing could have gone very differently.
mhm.
Um, what were some of your biggest takeaways from that part of your journey? Because it sounds like, and you can look at a lot of boot camps and people that
Mhm.
are coming right out of school, like all the deficits for these juniors. Like, what were some of the biggest things that you got out of that that you look back, you're like, man, I'm glad I knew how to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I often get into conversations around like, should you get a degree? Should you go to college if you want to get into the industry? If you want to change careers or anything? And the thing that I always say to that is, my 5 years and whatever money that I poured into college, I did not learn anything that was, or I learned very few things that were helpful. I could have learned them all on YouTube. Um, they did not really help me find a job. I did a
Mm,
lot of that on my own as well, and anyone can. It's networking, meeting with people, and showing off what you have done and expressing your enthusiasm. uh, it did help me a lot in terms of resources. Uh, it connected me with people that are like doing a lot of cool stuff, whether that be for students or for technology or for the campus. So it gave me a lot of resources that I could use to like do better things in my career. So, for example, it allowed me to get funding so I could go to my first couple conferences without having to spend money out of pocket.
oh,
Uh,
wow.
and the this solution center thing, or the my first workplace, actually both of them, I got the interview job because I was literally in a class talking about, hey, I could do some kind of stuff, and then the professor talked about their research project, and then we went after class to connect with her and ask her about the project, things like that. So both of these experiences gave me a pretty clear idea that if I want to be secure in my career, I'm not going to get that by lead code ranks or by 5,000 applications or stuff like that. The way to be secure in my career is to make sure I know enough people who also know my skills and talents enough that they can present me opportunities when I need them or whenever they have them. Uh, and I'm not going to get there by doing the traditional stuff, which is apply to 5,000 places, make sure your resume is up to date, make sure that, I don't know, like a lot of the traditional advice just wasn't hitting with me. and everything else that a lot of other things that I was doing were working for me. And all of this is before I found Taylor. When I found Taylor, all of my assumptions were like validated.
Oh, geez, you had to bring him up. Don't say his name two more times, so that big-headed bitch is gonna
I try.
show up here. Anyway, yeah, shout out to Taylor, yada yada. Um, what were we just talking about there? You
My
said something in
takeaways.
it. Oh, no, no, no. You just said something specifically that like kind of stuck with me, and I wanted to follow up on it as far as like, oh yeah. So when you when you take all these things away and now you're looking at what people maybe should be doing now,
Hmm.
like what are you kind of leading them to do? I mean, you mentioned like your network is super important.
Hmm.
A degree is really only as good as you leverage it, like
Hmm.
what you're
Yes.
taking out of it. So what do you kind of like, what do you suggest that people do as far as like guiding them on the path to maybe get to where
Mhm.
you are?
Yeah, literally just build things. It's the fastest way to like get to the next level. A- and this doesn't just apply. We often talk about like just keep building things as like it applies to people getting into the career or switching into career, but I have found that to be just as equally important advice for me 8 years into my career, because when I get
Mm-hmm.
stuck on like certain ideas, uh, it's probably because I'm spending more time thinking and writing documents or being in meetings than like writing code and testing out things. Every time I spend like one entire day just building something, whether that's a side project or whether that's a feature for like my work project, or that's like a mini documentation site for Solid, whatever. Every time I build something, it's the next day I realize that I have five more things that I could think about, that I can talk about, or that I need to
Mm-hmm.
learn than I had the other day. So yeah, it's I think the building is a good advice for literally like anyone who's in this career, regardless of what level they are in, um, as a way to advance their understanding of what's going on and what's the next thing that they need to do, that they need to learn.
I like that. What do you think is one of the bigger deficits from people that are kind of getting into the industry right now, especially with tools like
Mhm.
AI and everything kind of making the learning path
Mhm.
easier, but are they benefiting from using that, or are they using it more like a crutch?
Oh yeah, the biggest thing that anyone could be doing to hamper their career and learning is thinking that AI is somehow going to replace them. Uh,
Mm.
if they continue thinking, if you continue thinking that AI is going to replace you, it will replace you. It's almost like if you stay below that baseline of what the AI can achieve, then obviously yes, you're going to be replaced. But the moment you realize that the AI is a tool for you to do everything that you can, but 10x faster, it's going to like put you above that baseline, and then uh, you can make sure that you are always above it. You are always more productive with AI, and you cannot be replaced. Um, so like I said, just keep building things. AI is obviously massively helpful there. If you have an idea, it can implement that. It can explain you why it did certain things. It can like fix things for you. So it's a great learning tool. And then it's a great tool to talk about what you've built. It's like you can get your blog posts, your tweets, your scripts for YouTube videos, your whatever you're using to show off your work, or social media posts. You can get those through AI as well. So I know that's a huge barrier for people, which is like, what do I post? How do I post? And how often do I post? Just let the AI do all of that, and so that you can focus on the thing that you're building, and what you're learning out of it, and not as much how do I translate this into a blog post. um, yeah, so there are many ways to use AI to like augment you instead of replace you.
Oh yeah, I agree, and I honestly I think that's the better way to look at it.
Hmm.
And better developers use AI tools better. You
Hmm.
know, like when you know how to prompt it or you understand what the AI is doing, you can work in conjunction with it better. You never
Yeah.
want to lean on it and just let
Hmm.
it do it. Um, If you have any ideas for Linda too, fellow streamer here, shout out to
Yeah.
Linda. She's looking for some ideas to build with AI. What AI tools are you super into right now these days? By the way.
Me, yeah. Cursor is probably the biggest one. I have been
Mm,
abusing it like out of the world, um, or at least trying to. Initially, there was a lot of like vibe coding where I just let it generate lots of code, and then I was kind of stuck with it to like debug through it and maintain through it. So now it's mostly a balance of how do I get it to generate small things that I am fully aware of, so that I don't run into issues later. Um,
yeah.
yeah, T3 Chat has been my like go-to chat app. uh, I use ChatGPT. My girlfriend still heavily uses ChatGPT. I'm trying to move her over as well. uh,
I don't have too much
yeah.
experience with T3 chat yet, but I follow Theo's
Mhm.
progress and posts on the Twitters, and I definitely
Mhm.
have to try it out. I see somebody came from Theo's Discord
Nice.
earlier too, following you here. So greetings to them. What do you? I mean, obviously you've got a relationship with Theo too, so you wanted to
Mhm.
check it out. What do you see as like the benefit of that product over some of the other ones? Like, how would you
Yeah,
sell us on trying it?
I mean it's just a cheaper and better app. It's
There you
that's
go.
kind of the in a nutshell. It's $8 for every single model that's out there, and it gets updated very frequently. And it's built by someone who understands UI design, not by a team of
Mm,
company that just wanted to sell something. For me, that's like
I like that.
if it in the last couple years or so, I've started to put a lot of focus on not just the tool that I'm using, but who's building that tool and what are they getting out of it. uh,
Hmm.
and especially in dev tools, it's been pretty big because for example, solid.js, the one of the big reasons I got interested in solid.js was not just because of the framework, but because uh, I saw the approach that the author Ryan Carniato takes when he's building, designing, or implementing frameworks like this. And a lot of it was the approach that inspired me and that wanted me something to do something similar. So that's why I got a lot more active in the Solid.js community. um, Not just because of the framework. It's similar with T3.chat. It's because throughout all his rants on Twitch or YouTube, you can like there's the subtext of how much he cares about user experience and how much he knows, how much he has learned about building good user
Mm,
experiences over time. Uh, and so when he builds a product, you know that those things are going to be reflected in that product. um, and they're not going to be there in chat gpt in uh, chat gpt or claude ai or google gemini
mm-hmm.
as much as they try it, because they just have different priorities.
Yeah. No, that I mean, they definitely do for sure. I think we all know what most of them are: world domination and money.
Mhm.
Um,
Exactly, yeah.
so, so what are some other things that are important to you as far as building? Like, what are
Mhm.
some things that you focus on? You mentioned UI, user experience. Um, when you start to build your own products, because
Mhm.
obviously it's a little bit different when you're working for a company, their code
Mhm.
base and their objectives are going to be different than yours.
Yeah.
But for you personally,
Mhm.
what are some of the things you like to focus on when you build?
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking about like side projects, I try to make sure that whatever I'm building is at least decently helpful to me. Uh, if not, then also the people around me, but definitely helpful to me, because that allows me. Another thing that I've been trying to do over the last couple years is uh, push my mindset more towards like product management and not just like development.
Mm.
So also thinking about apps from a product perspective. uh, did my video freeze out? Am I good?
Uh, no, you're back. It lagged a
Okay.
little bit. You're good.
Okay, your video is still frozen for me, so but I'm gonna continue
Oh, really?
if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so thinking about apps from like a product perspective as well, where I'm it's not just that I'm building this in a vacuum, but I'm building this for people who are going to be using this uh, for whatever what they are doing, either that's daily or weekly or like once in a month, but they're going to be using this to trying to achieve a goal. And how much can I understand that goal, and how my user works in general, like how they are going to be looking at the app, and how can I improve the experience for.
Oh, uh-oh. Am I frozen? Dev, come back to us. Guys, we lost little baby Dev. We lost Dev. Okay. No! He still has the link, so hopefully he comes back. Um, he was making a really awesome point, too. Janet just got here. That's why. Janet's here. Dev's like, I'm fucking out. No. Hold on, let me check my messages here. Oh, just so everyone knows, it's Kapehe Cap's birthday today. So make sure you go wish her a happy birthday. I'm messaging Dev right now. We lost ya, boo. Dev is a fellow. When you said big, um, Dev is a fellow Croc boy. For anybody that knows him, and I did show him this earlier because I don't know if all of you have seen this, but check this baddie out. This is a Croc slipper. They're so comfortable. They're my office shoes. I know a couple of you have seen them, but anyway. Hell yeah, they're fuzzy. Well, you wear Birkenstocks, so that's probably why you were about to throw up, because you could smell them. All right. Well, while we wait for him, Miski's, they're very lavish, brother. Holy crap, they're so comfortable. They're a little worn now, but still. I actually don't doubt they feel pretty nice. I only recently got my first. Yeah. I've got a bunch of lined ones. See, Sabat. Yes, that's what's up. Crocs are my jam. With Rex, yes. They are super comfy, but you gotta try the slippers. And I actually bought two pairs that aren't like the Crocs. They're more like a shoe. Also very comfortable. Well, while Dev's not here, I thought we could talk shit about his website. I was going to show you guys earlier, anyways. Um, I do wear Crocs and socks because, regardless of what you think, people's feet still smell. They do. Especially because hippies made Birkenstocks famous and their entirety smells. Hold on, let me get this presented here. Let me pull his page up. Man, he must have like lost internet altogether because he's not even on X responding to me yet. What was I doing? Focus, people. Okay, yeah, Dev's page. All right, here we go. He said this might. He has not updated this in a very long time. Also, his picture, his profile picture is super old, which I think is hilarious. Um, there we go. All right, can you guys see that? Let me make it bigger. Oh, what? Why is it in a weird size? Oh God, what am I doing here? Let's try again. We're just batting 1,000. Oh, I was on the wrong one. Got it. Got him. All right. Well, we'll see if he comes back. We see his ex. Yeah. All right. So, just looking at his personal page, and again, he did give me the disclaimer. He has not updated this in a long time earlier. Cool beans indeed. Oh, speaking of that, I know some of you have seen this. That's what this tattoo is. They're cool beans. Um, let's see. Let's check it out. So it honestly does not look like he's updated this in 3 years. It's fine. He's also working. But oh, he's got a couple he has one blog post from 2023. Let's see. Ah, look at little baby Dev. I wish he was here. He is pretty humble. I don't think he does let it get to his head. Oh, let's look at his resume, guys. He's got his resume. I'm gonna get his personal info off there. Um, can you guys? That's very small. Hang on. There we go. I can already say I do not like this. Just a whittle guy. Um, can anybody tell me why you think I don't like it? He's got 5 years, 20. Yeah, that checks out. Let me see if he responded, by the way. Yeah, I don't necessarily mind the colors, but hold on a sec. Um, hang on, sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, I was thinking like all the different like font sizes and the bold and then a bold in a different color and that it's just it's aggressive. Hey, he's back. We weren't looking at your resume. We definitely weren't looking at your
For
resume.
sure. Sorry, a random Wi-Fi blackout.
Dude, you're fine. Honestly, it's been raining on and
Mhm.
off here. Um and it's so we've been cutting out here and there too, but we're okay. We checked out your site. Um we went through
Good
your
to know.
resume. It's fine. See, but you know the thing is, you're in a position where you're pretty continuously
Hmm.
working. You've moved from job to job. Like sometimes we get a little complacent about the LinkedIn's and the resumes and the sites when they're not what's driving our
Hmm.
revenue at the time. So again, that's where it's super important to be in a position where you are, where you know a lot of people and you've built a network around yourself because it kind of lessens the importance
Hmm.
of those things. So great point that I got to make there. Thank you for that. It is about roasting, Ellie. It's good to have you
Thank
back.
you.
Um, let's see where did we leave off. I want to talk about kind of your building
Hmm.
in public because you've mentioned content, you've
Hmm.
mentioned blogs, posting, and you have a YouTube channel, you have a Twitch. What are some of the benefits that you've found to kind of putting yourself out there with your work?
I mean, yeah, my the current job that I have, I got it because I gave a conference talk. Uh, my job at Clerk,
Yo,
I got that
nice.
because I was making YouTube videos. Uh, my job before this at Smart Data, I had it because I was hosting events at my campus, and the person that like gave a pretty strong referral, he knew my manager from like a previous role. He had heard good things. So yeah, I think every job that gotten, it's because I put myself out there. That the research project
Mm,
initially, the job I got on campus, my job at Clerk, at Smart Data, and even at Zolvia right now. So yeah, my entire career has been a result of me putting myself out there in different ways.
that's awesome. And yeah, how do you kind of push people to do that? I think a lot of people will get into that sort of loop of, oh, well, I'll do it
Mhm.
next week. I'll get everything ready. They get into that like
Mhm.
paralysis from
Mhm.
analysis phase, and then it never
Yeah.
happens. So, what do you, as far as advice to somebody to do it, like, what do you tell them?
I mean, it's really funny because it can kind of also boil down to the cliche line where the journey is more important than the destination. It's kind of an aspect of
Mm,
that
mm-hmm.
where whatever we are working on or whatever we are trying to learn, spending our own time on, the results of that matter less than the fact that we decided to like take on this endeavor. We decided to spend our personal time outside of our our college or our job to learn something, to build something. And the reasons why we are motivated to do those things are the things that employers are actually looking for. They're not looking for the best results. They're looking for someone who is willing to invest their time into learning and building something. uh, because what the employer needs at the end of the day is someone who can spend time on their problems and figure them out. uh, so I
Mm.
think I think this mental shift is a difficult one to make for a lot of people, but on some levels that's the one that's needed, is realizing that what we need to put out there is not that here we have built something, but that here I have this idea, or this is what I'm working on, or this is what I'm trying to learn because of XYZ, because I want to build these kind of things. Those are like at the end of the day the most important things.
I love that, the problem solving mentality. What we have a lot of people that are looking for
Mhm.
roles here, people that are currently interviewing for roles. What are what are some kind of takeaways as far as like the interview process that you've seen in your
Mhm.
experience that again you give as advice, like if you're going into a technical interview, you
Mhm.
should this. If it's behavioral, you
Mhm.
should this. Like what are some of these kind of tips and tricks you've kind of dialed in over the years?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've not done too many like super deep technical interviews. Some of it is like kind of a consequence of having a lot of content out there. That if someone who's already
Mm,
seen some of my content, they can make a good guess of where I would be technically. But outside of that,
nice.
the other thing is that I have very aggressively rejected things like lead code. I just don't think that's
Okay.
a good way for any company to test the strengths of anyone who has applied for a job. But I guess that's the best that they could come up with for such a large candidate pool. Um, yeah. In terms of like technicals, just the basics of data structures are good enough most of the time, and a lot of other times what you would need is technical knowledge about the specific thing that the employer is doing. So my current employer is heavy into event sourcing and GraphQL and AI. So I don't need to know how to reverse a binary tree. I need to know how GraphQL works, or what event sourcing is, or how to build better distributed systems, or like how to bring AI into some of these intensive like information systems. Those are like the more technical things that I am expected to know, not super deep like lead code crap, right?
Elite code crap. That's a take I'm seeing
Hmm.
more and more. A lot of people are really pushing against that, and I think I definitely see
Hmm.
why. Um, do you think that there will be a bit of a shift as more people are like, I'm not doing
I
that?
hope so, at least. But right now, because the influx of new developers looking for roles is just increasing, that people are likely just willing to do whatever it takes to get a job. In
Sure.
which case, like people who don't like this current approach don't really have a lot of leverage, because there are other people who are willing to do it. Um, I think for I think what it becomes about, at least for me, is just to make sure that uh, the companies that I'm applying to, or the people that I want to work with, I have a good enough understanding of their problems, that the conversation that I have with them is not about how good I am at doing data structures, but that conversation is more about what are the problems that they are running into, and how can I and what can I bring to the table. And then it also becomes a
Mm,
lot more valuable conversation. Then it's more back and forth. It's
yeah.
more about the role that I am going to end up working for, and not about like can I do this in Python with like the with O1 complexity.
I think that when you're looking for a job, your priorities sort of shift as well, depending on where you are. Where there's people out there that are very,
Hmm.
I need it.
Yeah.
I will do those things
Hmm.
because I need it, as opposed to being a little bit more discerning and having the ability to find the job that you want.
Hmm.
So, what about the current role you're in? And Nick says hello to everybody.
Nice to
Great
see
to
you,
see
Nick.
you, Nick, and Oscar's here, the homies. So, what was it about this role that attracted you to it?
Yeah, it was something I hinted at earlier. Event sourcing. Event sourcing is a concept. It's kind of an architecture that I've been looking at for a long time. It's something that I wanted to bring into my own work, but it's something that takes a
Mm-hmm.
decent bit of experience to get right and to reap its benefits. Right. Like he kind of think of it is as in the
Sure.
same vein as like TDD, your test driven development, where you have to really know it well to get its advantages. If not, it just gets in your way, which is why we see most people like don't like that approach. I had that feeling about event sourcing. So uh, Zolvio is a team that has worked heavily with Event Store DB, which is like a database specifically built for event sourcing, and they do a lot of
Mm.
that on their projects. Um, so when I got a when they reached out and I started talking to them, I immediately realized that okay, this is the team that can teach me about event sourcing, and this is the place where I can learn what these systems look like and how I can build them on my own.
That seems like a pretty good fit then. So do you look for obviously you look for roles that are at companies that have products that you're super interested in, and I think that that's again
Mhm.
where your job hunt or where you're looking kind of varies, but I think at the end of the day that's
Give me
also
a second,
really
I lost
important
audio.
because I think a lot of people that, oh boy, we're losing
I'm
Dev
dumb
again.
speaker.
There you go.
Riddled
Can
with
you
technical
can you hear
issues
me?
these days. Okay, try saying something.
Oh god.
Okay, you're back.
Butterfinger.
You're back.
Butterfingers.
We're back.
Okay. We are so back. This is I was saying something, but it really doesn't matter. I'm just babbling. So you at this point
Hmm.
you told us about when you started and you were 18 and you were making terrible life choices as far as time management.
Yeah, I still do, but yeah.
For lack of a better term. For okay, well that leads me to my next question. You've evolved a little bit, I would like to think. So how do you manage your time a little bit
Hmm.
to sort of give yourself a break so you don't burn out? You don't get frustrated. You don't find this job that you were really into and
Hmm.
got the worst thing ever every day.
Yeah, that's a tricky question because I wouldn't say that I'm great at time management these days as well. It's something that I'm uh, I'm still at the very beginning of my like journey into learning how to manage my time better. Um, Most of what I try to do at least is keep everything documented and just try to time box things as much as I can within a week or like within a day. So throughout the day, I'm working on my work project. Then evening, I whatever time I can try to find, I'm spending that on my side projects or if there's whatever other commitments that I have. I don't do much freelance anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Part of because I just don't have the time for it. That said, AI has made it really easy for me to like build lots of things very fast. So I might be taking more freelance projects, but I still have to learn how to manage my time better first. Um, so
Yeah.
I unfortunately I don't have a lot of good advice in that area. I'm trying to learn myself, so I'll be looking out for uh, other people who answer this question.
Yeah, if you have any time management skill advice, feel free to drop it in the chat because I have no fucking clue what that means either. So, um, where again, it's so hard, and I see it in other industries as well. But I think obviously our focus being in the developer
Mhm.
community, you see it a lot here because I mean, for some, it's they enjoy
Yeah.
it. Like they actually genuinely
Hmm.
enjoy the work, so it's very easy to get caught up in it. Others are just afraid to lose their
Hmm.
job. Like they're like, I have to keep going. I have to, because otherwise somebody else will do it. Um, where do you feel like you fit on that sliding scale?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like yeah, it can go pretty much like I have pendulumed on that scale back and forth a decent bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, the main reason is that I'm on a student visa in the states, and I have work authorization, which means
Oh,
if I stay unemployed for like 2 3 months, I'm gonna get kicked out. I'll have to go back to India. So I literally like cannot be like if I happen to be unemployed, I have to find a new job within a couple months, or I get kicked out.
okay.
This happened with me when I was um, what was that? Let go from clerk about a year ago because I didn't have another job
Okay.
and I had to like I needed something as soon as possible so that I don't get kicked out of here. Um, so there are moments where I am on that side of the spectrum as well.
Mm,
Then there are other moments like a couple of weeks ago where I already have a stable job, but I have this new offer from this company that really wants uh, that has an urgent project and that I really want to work with. They're doing some stuff that I really enjoy, so then I'll switch to that company. Even if they don't give me too big of a pay raise, I'm still going to switch because I know this is a better learning opportunity for me than whatever I was doing before that. So yeah, priorities can shift very fast thanks to my situation.
for sure. Yeah. Wow. And spoiler alert, you're not from Cincinnati?
I am not. Yeah,
Totally thought that was a Southern Ohio accent.
definitely. Yeah, I lived in Cincinnati for about 6 years, 7 years. Now I'm in Kansas, so it's a lot. It's a much
Oh,
flatter.
nice. Okay.
I can appreciate the straight and
Yeah,
flatter
a little
roads.
bit. There you go. Um, so we've got a couple minutes here. We're about to hit the hour. We had to start a little early because I got to head to an appointment. But um, what do you do to
Mhm.
decompress? Maybe you're not getting as much time to
Mhm.
do it, but what does Dev like to do besides Dev?
Um, watch videos about dev. Honestly, I obsessively watch.
Jesus, you're addicted, man. You're a
I very much
junkie.
am. I watch like 5 hour Ryan Carniato streams, often multiple times, because he talks very much in depth, and I can never understand what he's saying in first time. Even when I began my journey, like 2017, 18, I spent a bunch of time reading stuff, watching YouTube videos, watching conference talks. So and again, this is like you asked what do I do to decompress, and this might not connect with everyone. Not everyone wants to be reading like technical articles as a way to decompress, but it's
Hmm.
something that has worked out for me, and it's also something that has massively contributed to my career because the more I'm reading, the more I'm learning, the more I'm expanding my kind of like technical breadth. So if
Hmm.
tomorrow someone needs like help on a Vue.js project, I can go and jump in because I understand Vue decently enough, or I can like jump into a .NET project or something like that. I wouldn't super enjoy it, but I've gathered enough information that I can be at least somewhat helpful there. Outside of that, though,
That's
for
right.
things that people might actually want to do, I guess I make coffee. I watch like uh, music reaction videos is something that's been big on YouTube, like where people react to like either watching videos or listening to music. It helps me give like a new
Oh yeah.
perspective on things that I've already seen. So that's a fun way to like entertain and decompress after a while. Other than that, just spend as much as time I can with my girlfriend. Yeah,
What about Yacht Rock,
I
Dev?
don't know
How you
about
feel
that.
about
What
Yacht
is that?
Rock?
Is that a band?
Oh my God, you don't come on. You don't know what yacht
Oh,
rock
it's genre.
is?
Okay.
It's like yeah, it's a genre. Like what is it like Hall and Oates, Chris Michael McDonald,
Nice.
somebody, I don't know. There's a whole channel on Sirius. It's
Okay.
amazing. Yeah, for it's for the olds. And as we established, Dev is but a baby.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for that. All right, well, I just shout out to everybody in the chat here. We've got a couple last questions. If you want to connect with Dev, here's his personal page. You can head there. Buy him gibbets. He loves the gibbets for his Crocs. Um, hey, I see you have your intern. Is your
Oops.
intern there?
Yeah. Uh, here.
Oh, there we go. What's our intern's name,
My
Dev?
intern is Lulu, and
Oh, Lulu,
she causes
nice.
more annoyance than uh, work, but it's something.
Yeah, they tend to do that. Well, you know what? She made you
Hmm.
smile though, even if you're pissed. So you keep her around. What
Hmm.
last question here, and again, thank you. I'm glad we got
Oh
to
yeah.
hang out. You're gonna have to come back because I want you to do some streams with me and like make me be a smarter developer like you. Um, but in the meantime, what does success look like to you?
Yeah, great question. Um, for me, as someone who really enjoys building things, I think success just looks like the like looking at people using what I've built and watching it have an
Mm,
impact on their life, even if it's like something as simple as uh, like if I can build something that can help my girlfriend keep her resume updated because that's something that's a big task for her, then that would be success for me. Something that I have automated away, something uh, that people don't have to do anymore because there's something built that takes care of that.
yeah, that's awesome. I
I
like
think
that.
the place where
I
I
like that one a
discovered
lot.
this was when we used to organize a hackathon back at our university, uh, because that's where I got to build a lot of stuff for internal use. That like internally we used to
Mm,
spend hours and hours on this thing, and now we click a couple buttons and we're done. That was one of the most rewarding projects I've built in that time frame.
that that sounds like a good one. Products people
Hmm.
use. Somebody put, yeah. I think for me that's very similar. Like you like to see how you help people with the
Hmm.
things you make every day. So, what am I not doing? Oh no, Jason's gonna get a big head as he gets smarter. We need to bully him more. Don't worry, I get plenty bullied. And if you want to bully me more, feel free to head to cal.torque.dev. That is our community page where our Discord link is. Come in and talk all the shit you want. Dev, I better see you in there too, because we have a music
Oh, nice.
channel, and you have to come and throw some
All right.
wrecks. What are you listening to right now? Like, what's your go to band?
Uh, Mostly heavy metal. These days, my go-to is like In Flames, Opeth. Opeth is a big one. Porcupine Tree. A lot of progressive, like heavy metal. I
Nice.
enjoy
I
when people
like
can break
that.
their. Yeah, I
Porcupine
enjoy when people
Tree.
can break the rules of music and still uh, make something that's enjoyable.
I like that. I'm going to listen to Porcupine Tree on my way to this appointment now in your honor. Um, we will hopefully see you again soon. Again, everybody go connect with Dev. His socials. Are your
Uh,
socials on this page?
Probably not. Just like my Twitter. That's I have like two different
All
updates,
right.
two different repos on my computer with like two different times I decided to redo my website and then never got back to it.
All right, let me get your. There we
Better.
go.
Yeah.
Boom. There
Thank
he
you.
is. Go hang out with what will be x.com/littlebabydev09 coming soon. Dev, it was great to talk to you. It was great to have everybody in the chat here. I see KP just came in, Chris, Janet, Jordan, Rosie, everybody else. I think I've got a stream tomorrow as well. Head over to the calendar and check. But either way, I will see you again. And remember, it is nice to be important, but it's more
Yep.
important to be nice. Have a great day.